My comments on War and Vision, an essay by Father Thomas Merton, published December 1967. Preliminary note. Father Thomas Merton's article, War and Vision, was originally published in the Catholic Worker newspaper, December 1967, and a scanned PDF reproduction is available from the Merton Center Digital Collections Archive at Bellarmine University in Kentucky. I'll include a link to the article and the whole newspaper in the unit module. However, the format is not very reader friendly. Large format newspapers are difficult to read on a laptop screen or tablet. Therefore, I will refer to the version published in Merton's Book of Essays on Native Americans, Ishi means man. You can see the cover right here. It's the same edition that I have on the desk next to me right now. Um, I will refer to the version published in Merton's Book of Essays on Native Americans, Ishi means man, and to help you, I will provide my own notes on the essay. Um, Before I read what I thought about it, I just do want to mention that checking out the Catholic Worker newspaper that's archived on the Bellarmine University website is kind of an interesting little trip back in time. It's from December 1967, and like there's a quote from Martin Luther King included. Martin Luther King would not be assassinated for months after the publication of the article. So it's Martin Luther King being quoted while he was still alive. And I happen to know that Martin Luther King was not the revered figure that he is today. Back when he was alive, he was openly despised and criticized by a lot of people. So it's telling that the Catholic Worker would, publish a quote from Martin Luther King that says something as to their, their values and integrity. So looking at that newspaper it's an interesting trip back in time. Just wanted to mention that. Anyway, my thoughts on War and Vision by Father Thomas Merton. Merton's essay discusses Native American spirituality, specifically the role of vision quests and vision interpretations by young Indian men. And we will read about one of those visions when we look at Black Elk Speaks. But these men would spend their lives as hunters and warriors, feeding and protecting their people, their success in either role determined by how well they listened to and understood their spirit guides. There are two main ideas in this essay that I found interesting. The first was Merton's argument that the visions of Native American men were a valid means of acquiring knowledge, pre-scientific and yet verifiable, on account of their thousands of years of proven success in the pre-Columbian North American landscape. Merton's Catholicism is scarcely mentioned or referred to, aside from pointing out that many Catholics believe in guardian angels when speculating as to what these Indian spirit guides were, as he laments the loss of a unique form of spirituality that had been all but forgotten by the turn of the 20th century. I appreciated that Merton makes no definite claims as to the source of the wisdom communicated through visions, whether they came from spiritual beings the American Indians were in contact with, or some kind of subconscious awareness that the Indians were able to tap into, an ability forgotten as their lifestyle was taken from them with the arrival of white settlers, what Black Elk calls the Wasichu. The second idea Warren Vision reflects on is the loss not just of the Indians' ability to receive wisdom through spirit visions, but also their entire way of life, which was made obsolete and empty as they lost their land and the herds of buffalo, began relying on food they did not need to hunt, and as a result of their new circumstances, began valuing money instead. I did note that some of Merton's language was questionable. He more than once referred to the Indians as primitive, though I don't think he meant this in a dismissive way. Rather, Merton seems genuinely fascinated by the lost Indian life and culture. Perhaps a better word would be primal, in the sense of being more fundamental or elemental, implying a connection with the world that we, in our time, because of our reliance on technology, have lost touch with. Perhaps the way the Indians lived was closer to the way things were in the Garden of Eden. Overall, this was an interesting and thought-provoking essay, and I highly recommend it to anyone interested in the study of world religions. Through Catholic eyes, Merton offers us a look at a too often overlooked form of spirituality, indeed one I have neglected learning about until right now. Thank you very much.